Hi, I'm Helen B. Hicks, and thank you for tuning into my podcast, What Would Helen Say? Today's episode, Setting Limits When Overwhelmed, is an introductory episode. My client is a young woman who is currently engaged, working from home, while taking care of her two children under the age of 3, and is juggling the demands of numerous other people in her lives, family and friends included. As we go through this session, you will notice that I'm a bit all over the place. It's very purposeful for me because I am trying to gather as much information as possible so that I can get an idea of her current behavior patterns. Knowing her behavior patterns helps me to identify the most appropriate interventions to give to her so that she can start shifting these patterns into something that's more appropriate. What I hope you're able to take away from this session is that you'll see how the lack of boundaries in her life is really contributing to her feeling overwhelmed, and how her being able to learn how to set some boundaries would really help to alleviate some of that stress. This podcast is about making therapy accessible for everyone, because stepping into an office is about so much more than just having an insurance card or money. So if you like my podcast and you'd like to support what I'm doing, or if you're interested in having premium access to upcoming sessions and detailed notes about the interventions that I share with my clients, then please click on the Patreon link below for more information. Thank you. What brings you into therapy at this time?
Um, there is a lot going on. Um, well, for one, I have two kids. One is 3. The other is gonna be 8 months. Well, she is
Ooh.
8 months now. So yeah, back to back. I have been working from home now for 2 years since COVID.
Okay.
Um, what else? And I am in the middle of planning my own wedding. So yeah, there's like 25,000 things going on at one time, and
Okay.
it's just like a lot.
So I definitely can hear how you can be very overwhelmed right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
um, it's definitely overwhelming. So I'm just like,
Okay. So with you feeling overwhelmed, like what, how is that affecting you as far as meeting all these responsibilities that you have?
I try to juggle them, and then it's like once I'm really like at that point, it's like I just blow up and like I don't know, like run away from everybody, kind of. And I'm starting to notice that that's like a habit, and I don't want it to be a habit. Especially like blowing up with my daughter, the oldest one. She's getting bigger, so she's starting to notice certain things. So if she'll like hear me like screaming, and she's like, "No, mommy, don't yell. That's not nice. Don't scream." And I'm just like, okay. Or if I'm yelling at her father about something, and she's just like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And I'm just like, "Oh boy." So it's like I can't even like get away with it anymore. So I'm just like, I don't want her to do that. That's basically how like I was brought up, like in that kind of household, like yelling and craziness and stuff. So I'm like trying my hardest to not let that affect her, and like for her to see those types of things.
Okay. So since this is what you were exposed to growing up, then I suppose you haven't had an opportunity to develop any different types of coping skills, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I've tried, but I don't think like it worked because I wasn't like consistent enough with it. Like I've tried like therapy in the past and stuff. Like just like being on campus. We had a what do you call that? A therapist on campus basically. And I would go to her, but then I stopped honestly, and I just never picked it back up again.
Okay. Was there anything specific that led to you stopping at that time?
Um, I have a problem with opening up, I guess. So like after a few sessions when we really started to like dig into things, I was just like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna go back. And then it was
Okay.
also like a connection thing too, because there was certain things that I would say and like she wouldn't understand basically. And I don't know if it's like a culture thing, and I'm just like, so that kind of played a part too.
Okay. No, I mean, having someone that you can connect to is definitely a very foundational piece of therapy being able to work for you. So if you felt
Hmm.
like this wasn't someone who clearly understood you, that you felt like, yeah, we're on the same page, then that can definitely be a hindrance.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a lot.
So as far as the piece of getting too deep, getting too intimate, that kind of causes you to back up and run away. Does
Yeah.
that happen in other aspects of your life besides like a treatment setting?
Yeah. There's certain things like if I'm talking to my partner or anything like that, like it's either just like it's certain things that I just won't tell him. Like probably just recently I started to open up to him about like my mom more and like our relationship. But there was a lot that like he didn't understand and I just like wouldn't tell him. So I'm really close with one of my aunts. So he will like always ask her, and she'll be like, "Well, you have to ask her that. Like, I don't want to tell you." So I would tell him like bits and pieces, but I don't think I fully still told him everything. Um, because him and my mom, like, they're pretty okay, like relationship wise, and I feel like sometimes she tries to be, I guess, I don't know, there a little bit more. So I don't want to like paint like a super bad image of her to him, I guess. Because I know that like maybe, he may be a little protective or whatever. Like I don't want him to like completely just basically like hate her. I don't know. So I just try to like save everybody, I guess.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem. It's like I don't know what it's even called at this point. And then especially, with me going to school, I just knew I had it all figured out. I'm in all these psych classes. I'm like, I got this, like I'm perfectly fine. And then it just started hitting me like a ton of bricks. Like everything that we would talk about, I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, like this is crazy. So I started to really see a lot of myself, and that's actually what introduced me to going to a therapist on campus. But yeah.
Okay. So there's some things here.
I know there's
My
a lot, right?
we'll get to it. We'll get to all of it. My first concern, though, is what you said in regards to if things get too close, they get too intimate, they get too emotional, then you want to run
Hmm.
away. Because
Yep.
if that keeps happening, then you're never going to make the progress that you want to make for your own life.
Hmm.
So that's the number one thing that we do have to figure out, because whether you choose to stay and continue working with me or you want to work with someone else, that's still going to be an issue for you. Um, so definitely, I want to kind of start there and start talking about, okay, well, what can you do to really kind of work through that piece of it? Um, my first thought is that's an anxiety reaction. That, oh my gosh, somebody's getting too close to my stuff. Ah, let me run away.
Sound like me.
Okay, so let me understand a little bit more. Has there ever been a time in your life where you have let those walls down, let someone in, and then felt like you were betrayed, you were hurt, like something negative happened?
um, I don't really think so. It's just I never really had the opportunity to do so. Um, like growing up with my mom, like I'm the oldest. It's only two of us, but I'm the oldest, and I guess she was like a young mom, so there was a lot of things that like happened back then. Different things that she said, but I would never have the opportunity to I didn't have like the voice. So if anything went wrong or anything was going on, it's like I had to be the strong one. I had to be the one that held it together. I had to do, certain things. So I never had the opportunity to have like a bad day because it's just like you're just a kid. You don't have bad days. Like there's no reason for you to be sad. There's no reason for you to be stressed out. So there was like no crying for me. Like there was none of that. Like you cannot do that. So now I feel like I've just carried that with me to where it's like I'm not gonna let you see me as weak. So I'm not gonna open up to you because I can't do that.
Got you.
Yeah. And like I know that it's something bad. Like I started to realize it afterwards, and like I always ask myself, like, why? Like it's like you feel the emotion, but I can't. Like I'm not able to express it because I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so there's a piece of this where you even lack the emotional vocabulary to be able to identify, hey, here's how I'm feeling, and this is what I think I need.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is it like for you in those moments when you have these emotions going on and then you're not sure of the words to say? You're not sure if you even want to say them to anyone. Like, what's happening?
I'm just like I don't know. I know for a fact like I'm yelling. I don't know what I'm yelling about, but I'll just like make up anything. And I notice that I do take it out on my partner a lot, and that's what I try not to do. So lately, I would just like lock myself in my room, like just so like he doesn't see me or like the kids won't see me. Sometimes I'll cry to myself or listen to music when I can. Or there's a few times where I would just like get in the car and just leave and just drive. Like I probably don't end up anywhere except for like Dollar Tree or something or Walmart, but like I'll just get in the car and just go. And then I'll come back like, everything's perfectly fine.
And it's not.
Nope. But it's like I have to basically like save face, so I'm just like whatever, it's cool.
Mm, okay. So, with that, I want you to try something.
Okay.
So, the next time you have that experience where there's all these emotions going on, you find yourself yelling, um, if you choose to lock yourself in the room, okay, you can do that. If you want to get away from everybody else, that's absolutely fine. But before you go into your usual of avoiding,
Yep.
I want you to try to journal for 5 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
This can be a written journal or it can be a voice journal. So, like most smartphones, they have the voice recording app or option or something on them. So, just
Mhm.
being able to, pull your phone out, start recording, and just free flow with
Mhm.
whatever is on your mind in that moment. If you're pissed off at somebody, if you're hurt, like whatever it is, I just want to get you used to putting a voice to those
Okay.
emotions. Okay? I'm not asking you to tell them to anybody yet. I'm not asking you
Mhm.
if you're not ready to share it with me. That's okay too. I want you to get used to having a voice when you have those emotions, okay?
Okay.
If you want to do it longer than 5 minutes, that's up to you if you want to go longer than 5 minutes. If you
Mhm.
don't, you did your 5 minutes, you can move on to whatever it is you want to do,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. That sounds good. I think I could do that. The voice journals.
All right. So, when you get a chance, the other thing I want you to try to do is do something nice for you after you've had that experience. Okay? So, here's my little story of where I'm coming from with that. So, there's a 5-year-old girl. She's outside playing. She falls down and she scrapes her knee. She comes limping inside. She goes to the bathroom. She gets herself a washcloth and she wets it and she wipes off her knee and she goes to the cabinet and she pulls out a band-aid. She puts a band-aid on her knee. Okay? A 5-year-old knows that when she's hurt, she should take care of whatever is hurt. Okay?
Right.
We do that for our physical needs, but so many times as people, we don't do that for our emotional needs. So by you just taking a little bit of time to do something nice for you, that's your self-care to help care for those feelings and that hurt that you were experiencing in the moment. So you start to teach yourself a different pattern, that instead of, you're okay, suck it up, there's nothing to cry about, moving away from that and moving into, it's okay to take care of your emotional hurts.
Okay. I'll try that.
Okay. All right, so I know that'll be a work in progress. That's not something you're gonna pop up with next week and say, "Woo, everything's great."
Right.
So I'll definitely be coming back to this and checking in and seeing how you're doing. Another thing that I'm concerned about, because you have so much stuff that's going on, what are you doing to care for yourself on a regular basis?
Nothing.
So there's no time where you get to take an extra long shower, some aromatherapy, a bubble bath, a pedicure, like none of this?
Yeah, I take long showers sometimes, either when the kids are asleep or I'll wait until he come home from work in the middle of the night. I think I went to get my hair and nails and stuff done because we had a photo shoot coming up, so I'm like, okay, I gotta pull it together. But other than that, it's probably maybe once every few months or so.
Oh no.
Yeah. My hair even fell out horribly. I almost cry when I see my hair getting blow dried out because I haven't even done anything to that, and that was always my thing. Long hair was always my thing. I've had hair since I can remember. It was just so to see it all gone. I'm just oh my god, what have I done to myself?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's another thing to add to this list, a sense of loss of at least a piece of your identity.
Basically, yeah.
So all this stuff that's going on and you're trying to juggle, and on top of that, you're kind of losing pieces of yourself too?
Yep. Crazy. I know. I'm insane. I tell myself this every day, girl, what are you doing? And I'll be okay, whatever, it'll be fine. I'll deal with it later.
Yeah, when?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, man. That sounds so crazy saying it out loud. That's so crazy.
But it's also one of the reasons why saying it out loud helps. Whether you say it out loud to yourself or you say it out loud to somebody else, it's not so much that other people have the power to wave a magic wand and poof, make everything disappear and it's wonderful. It's not that. It's the fact that when you say it out loud, when you take those thoughts, those feelings, and you put them into words, not only is it making it real, but it's also helping your brain to process that information. So when it's thoughts just swirling around in your head, your brain really isn't involved with that. Your thoughts are
Yeah.
not tangible. Nobody can pull them out of your head and actually look at them. But your brain is. So your brain needs language in order for it to function properly. So by putting things into language, your brain turns on and it says, "Oh, really?"
Right.
And that's when you have those moments of, "Ooh, that sounds bad." But in your head, it didn't sound so bad, did it?
Nope. In my head, it's like perfectly normal. But yeah, saying it out loud, it sounds really, really crazy.
Okay. So I'm wondering, what is your ideal outcome at this point in time? Like, what do you want to be able to get out of us working together and you working on yourself?
Overall, first start is like my biggest thing. It's like I don't want to be like a bad mom. I don't want to be a mean mom. I don't want to be like a crazy mom where this is like my daughter sitting here like years later and she's like, listen, my mother did XYZ or made me feel this way. Like I don't want to do that. um I just want to, I guess, like I can make everybody else feel happy, but I want to make myself happy, like instead of, I don't know, I just need like more clarity on myself too. Like I need to be able to, like, I feel like I'm too old now to not be able to like regulate emotions. Like I feel like a little kid sometimes. Like, and I don't want to feel like that because it's like, it's annoying. It's really annoying. And it's like interrupting like daily functions of me where there's certain days where I can't even pick up anything to clean, or like, cause I'm just like, I don't even know where to start. Like I don't know what to do first, or because I have so much on my mind. It's just like I'll start one thing and then I end up moving on to something else without even finishing that, or I'm just like, okay, like everything can just wait, and I'll just lay there or just sit there.
Okay.
And that's not like the habits that I want to have.
So, just to clarify for me, that aspect of starting something and then not finishing it and moving on to something else, is that a behavior that's developed here recently because you're feeling so overwhelmed, or is that something that's always been there?
I think it's more recent, I would want to say, because I can't like remember when it will ever be like this. Like I would never like leave like dishes in the sink or like anything like that. Like it's like the little things that I'm starting to notice, and it's just like I'll know that it's wrong and I'll know that it needs to get done, but for some reason it's like I can't bring myself to do it. Or it'll be some days where I just have like a boost of energy and I'm like running around crazy getting things done, and then I just stop.
Hmm. Are you able to identify like that feeling you start off with on the days that you run around and get stuff done?
Um, Not really. Like I don't know. I'll for the most for the most part, like I'm still working from home, so it's like I'll be typing and then it's like if I go to the fridge and grab a water, then it's like I'm starting to clean up the kitchen. Like I don't know, it's just like little random things like that. But it's not like a routine, I want to say. Like there is no routine. I just get up and go and take the day as it comes, basically.
Okay. So the image I have in my head is like you just have this running scroll in your head
Yep.
of things to do. And then if
Mm-hmm.
something else comes up that reminds you, oh, there's item number 54. And then you,
Yep.
you start going 54, 55, 56.
Yep. Pretty
Okay.
much.
So definitely difficulty being able to focus your attention on what you want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you feel like you're able to prioritize different things, or does like everything feel important?
Everything feels important to me. Like I've tried that before, like try to make like little mental notes, or I would try to like write it down and say like, well, this needs to get done this way, this way, this way. But or I've tried days where I'll say like, okay, I'll set a schedule for myself. Like I'm gonna do this at a certain time, do this at a certain time. But it's like if the first thing, if I say I'm gonna do something by 9 o'clock and I realize it's 9:30 and I haven't done it, then I just won't do anything now because I feel like I've thrown everything off already. Like I've already messed it up, so I'm not even about to start it.
So kind of like a all or nothing type of
Yeah,
viewpoint.
basically, yeah. That's exactly what it
Okay.
is.
Okay. So the all or nothing viewpoint is really more about self torture.
Mhm.
Because if you try to get it all done, then you're wearing yourself thin. I mean, it's to the point where
Mhm.
you're probably barely even moving at the end of the day. And versus the
Yeah.
getting nothing done, then you're probably beating yourself up because you feel like you wasted your time and you didn't do whatever it is you thought you could do. So it's this no win situation.
Right. Yep.
So
I agree.
it's best to look at things in terms of smaller increments. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, if you worked 15 minutes on 5 different things, then okay, you made some progress in those things that you stayed focused on for 15 minutes. Maybe certain things only take 15 minutes. Maybe it's just making a dent in that thing.
Yeah.
But if you had a way of coming back and saying, okay, it's Monday, let's say 3:30. It's my time to spend 15 minutes doing this. So then maybe by the time you get to Friday, you've completed that task.
Okay. Okay.
So
That
I
makes sense.
understand where people are coming from with the all or nothing,
Mhm.
but it does more harm than good.
Yeah. Yep. I noticed that. Yeah.
So another question I have with that, do you feel like that's possible for you? Because sometimes I encounter clients where being able to only do something for 15 minutes and having to stop, they're like, well, I started it, now I have to finish it.
I'll probably do that more than likely. Like it's like I'll have to finish it, or it's also like I know that I'm very inconsistent because I feel like I'm doing like the right thing, I guess, for like 2 days, or probably I'll say like a week. Like even when it came down to like diet and exercise, like I was doing that week straight perfectly fine. And then I don't know. It's just like it switches, and I'm just like whatever. Like I could wait. Like I'll try to put it off, and like oh well, like I can just eat this and I'll be fine.
Okay.
And
So
then it's just like all messed up.
I will make this suggestion. Um, I'm definitely all about baby steps. I don't like the all or nothing. people
Mhm.
people achieve change and maintain change a lot better when they do it in smaller increments. Um, the all or nothing again, you feel like you're losing. No matter what you do, you feel like you're losing, so you give up. It
Yeah.
doesn't give you a sense of accomplishment. It's not encouraging. So, baby steps. So, I'm not asking you to make a whole list of things out that you're going to work on for 15 minutes. I want you to pick one thing that you choose to work on 15 minutes every day. You choose what time of the day you want to
Okay.
engage in that 15 minutes. Okay? every time you think about, I need to get all of this done, I want you to come back and focus on me and say, okay, Helen said only 15 minutes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to do. So set a timer, you know, do whatever you have to do to be like 15 minutes. That's it. I accomplished the goal because that is the goal. Just 15 minutes.
Okay.
So how
That
do you feel?
sounds like I might be able to. I might. Like, I'll try. I'll
Okay,
try.
and that's all I'm asking for you to try. And then the next time we meet, you can tell me what that experience was like for you, and we'll keep building from there.
Okay. That's cool. We
Okay.
can do that.
So, another thing I'm kind of concerned about
Yeah.
is support. Like, what type of support do you have?
um, well, I'll say, like, my fiance is very supportive. Like, when I let him be supportive. Um, I do have friends, but I'm not the weak friend. Like, I'm the one, like, literally every single day, someone's calling me because something is wrong, or, they need to talk about something and they need advice on something or something like that. Whether it's family or friends, it's just like, I'm your go to when you want to talk or vent or complain or whatever. So it's just like, well, if y'all are already like doing all the complaining, it's just like I might as well just keep my little problems to myself and just move on. So,
Okay. So, tell me more about that thought process. Is it a matter of feeling like, well, y'all can't handle your own stuff, you definitely can't handle mine?
um, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like sometimes I'll notice like I'm getting like too overwhelmed with people and like their problems. So then I'll just like shut down. Like I just did this probably I want to say last week or so. I just kept my phone on do not disturb for a whole week because I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
Like I didn't know what to do at all. Like I
So,
didn't want to not answer their calls or texts, but it's like I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
so then when these people reach out to you, you feel a sense of responsibility to them to try to help them out in
Yep.
some way?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we need to set some boundaries.
Mhm.
Because I look at it this way, when it comes to trying to help other people, it is never your responsibility to solve their problem.
That's my problem. Yep.
Your
You just telling
responsibility.
me about myself today. Oh Jesus. I cannot.
I mean, but that's a good
Mm-mm.
sign, though. It's a good sign that, I'm tuning in to where you're at. If you feel like I'm able to speak to these things that are
Mhm.
your realities. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing when it comes to helping other people, it's never about solving their problems, it's about being able to empathize with them, which means being able to say, oh, that sucks. That's
Mhm.
terrible. What do you think you want to do about it?
Yeah.
You know, have you talked to so and so? Have you checked out this? Like, you can provide that person with resources. Like, oh, yeah, I know somebody who was struggling with that. They called this place and they helped them out. Provide them the
Okay.
resource, but don't say, well, I'll call for you.
Yep. Yeah.
So you empathize, you show support,
Mhm.
and you never do more to help that other person than they're doing to help themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's extremely overwhelming to feel like you're responsible to solve all these problems.
Mhm.
It also sets up that dynamic. If they're looking to you to solve their problems, then you see them as less capable of helping you with yours.
Yeah.
And then this isolates you further from people. Even though these
Mhm.
people are calling you and they're around you, emotionally you're isolated. Nobody really
Mhm.
knows what's going on with you. And they probably have a misperception that because you're helping them in all these different ways, you got it. Whatever's going on in your
Yep.
life, you got it. You don't need anybody's help.
Mhm.
That makes it worse for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you there? I can't hear you. Oh, there you go.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So, what I was saying about sharing, do you find yourself feeling emotionally isolated?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice it a little bit more now. Um, it's like I can feel isolated a little bit, and then like I don't know, it turns into like I guess like anger sometimes because I'm just like, why do you keep calling me? Like, why is it always me, me, me? Like, it's always me to figure things out or me to do something for everybody. And it's just like sometimes I feel that, half of the people don't know what's going on, or the other half just like don't care what I have going on, or they'll know, but it's just like, oh, well, you'll figure it out because you always do. So let me just tell you what I got going on first.
Okay.
And then that leads me back to the do not disturb. Like right now, my phone's on do not disturb. Like I've had it on that all day. And I'm just like, it's bad sometimes. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it.
Okay. So, right now, I'm not viewing you putting your phone on Do Not Disturb as bad. I'm
Mm-hmm.
viewing it as that's you setting a limit so that you have time and space to take care of yourself.
And then what do you do when like people are making you feel bad for doing it? Like,
Don't accept it.
right? That's my problem. Because I feel like I never know what to say when it's like, you're ignoring somebody, I guess, for like 2 or 3 days, and then you finally speak to them, and they're like, oh, well, I've been calling you, and why you didn't answer? Like, oh, you must got a problem, and it's just like, I don't even know what to say.
Okay.
And I just feel like, oh, well, like my favorite excuse. I'm just like, oh, they was getting on my nerves in here, so I need a break. And it's just like, it's not really fair to them, I guess. And I know sometimes my fiance is looking at me like, girl, I ain't do nothing to you. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But it's like, he just go along with it. And, half the people got his number. So they'll call him like, oh, and he'd be like, oh, she went to the store. Or I don't know, like she's fine, she's asleep. Or like he'll just say anything. And then he's looking at me like, oh, such and such just called. Or such and such just text. They want to know where you are. And I'm just like, I'll call them later, whatever. So now I feel bad that I'm like involving him, but I don't know how to like not involve him at the same time.
Okay. So, my immediate reaction to that is if you put your phone on Do Not Disturb for a day or two, And then you finally are feeling ready to talk to people, and they're like, oh, well, what happened to you? I needed some time to take care of me. And
Okay.
it's perfectly okay if you throw me under the bus and you say, my therapist told me that I needed to keep my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't want you to feel ashamed of
Yeah.
taking time to take care of you. That's nothing for you to be ashamed of. And if we look at this whole entire cycle, one thing is feeding off the other.
Yeah.
You started in your childhood of kind of being made to feel ashamed of having whatever feelings, having a bad day. You're not supposed to, you can't do that, you know. And okay, I can't do that, so let me keep it in, and I'm not going to take care of me. In the meantime, I am slowly falling apart. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
can't take anymore, I'm going to have this massive blow up. And after the
Yep.
massive blow up, I'm going to feel really bad. And maybe I need to withdraw from people again. And we're going to keep
Yep.
going round and
That's
round.
exactly what it seems like. Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna lie. That's exactly what it is now. Like all the
So
time.
it's time to break that cycle. And I want you to start
Mm-hmm.
breaking it by learning that how you feel and taking time to take care of how you feel is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So just like the 5-year-old with the band-aid, that's what I want you to think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. I would never even think about it that way. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
My other example of this is for self-care is if you had a broken leg, think about the things that you would do if you had a broken leg. You'd relax, you'd prop up your leg,
Yeah.
you need some ice or something of that nature. You take it easy, you wouldn't try to do as much. You would do everything possible to take care of the broken leg so it can heal faster and you can
Mm-hmm.
go back to your normal way of functioning. Okay? Self care is like taking care of that broken leg. All right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're not taking care of yourself and you're either beating yourself up or you're allowing other people to beat you up. It's like getting a bat and banging on the leg
Yeah.
saying, get better, get better, get better, get better, get better.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It doesn't work.
Mm, no.
So I want you to take care of you and then set boundaries for other people so that they know how to respect you taking care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll
do you
try.
know, do you know how to set boundaries?
No, do not disturb. That and like move like further away. Like I tried that thing, but then I start feeling bad. Like why did I just do that? It's not that far away, but it's like you know not in the same like cities or anything like that. So I tried that, but I'm like, is it like really worth it? Like, am I doing something better for me, or am I just making it worse by like running away?
Probably making it worse. Because that sounds more like avoidance than it does really setting a boundary. It's like, I don't want to have this conversation, so I'm going to go far away so I
Yeah.
can remove the need to have the conversation.
Yep. Okay.
The
Yeah,
problem
I
with
know,
the
like, I avoid things a lot.
and that again, it's all stuff that makes things worse rather than better.
Mm-hmm.
Because avoidance creates more anxiety. Then you
Yeah.
have to be very conscious of, okay, I'm avoiding this person, I'm avoiding this thing. So what are you doing? You're looking around, where are they at? Okay, make sure they're not here, make sure this isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Instead of really escaping it, you wind up making yourself more conscious of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you set a boundary allows you to fully let it go. To be able to say, look, I'm not available from this time to that time. You can call, but I'm not answering the
Yeah.
phone. I'm not, I'm not texting you. I'm not doing this,
Mm-hmm.
that, whatever. It's like, I'm telling you
Yeah.
straight up, this is what's happening. So that way, if
Mm-hmm.
after that time period, somebody's like, oh, well, what happened? I told you.
Right.
We don't need to have a discussion. I don't need to defend why I chose to do what I did. I told you this is
Right.
what was happening.
Right. The need to defend. I think that's the thing for me too. Or it's like I don't have a problem. Like I can avoid my friends. Like just be like or whatever. Like and most of them by now like they understand. But then there's family, and I'm just like, I have to answer the phone, or, like I have to talk to them, or if I don't answer the phone when I finally do speak to them, like I have to explain why, like, I didn't answer the phone, like, why wasn't I there, to speak to them, you know? Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
so one, you don't owe anybody an explanation for anything. Okay?
I'll be the first one
Two,
to say that, and I'm the first one explaining. Like, I don't know.
and then follow it
Like,
up with the
it's so
excuse.
crazy. Exactly.
So, two, the minute you put some sort of justification out there, you are granting the other person permission to judge if it's a good enough reason or not.
Yep. Okay.
And most of the time, they're going to judge no.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Yep, I get that a lot. Like, oh, um, if I say that, it's like the kids, like I say, this that's like always my thing. They're like, oh, well, you shouldn't feel that way because, you got him in the house with you, or they small, or it's not that serious, or you don't have to leave out the door to go to work. Like, you're home all day, so you're not doing anything. It's fine. And I'm just like, I find myself sometimes like feeling bad that I'm almost like creating a life that I want to live. Like I shouldn't feel bad that like I'm not a single mom. Like I shouldn't feel bad that I consider it to be a luxury to be able to still maintain the same job, throughout this whole pandemic thing when so many people couldn't, or have the luxury of, the company saying, listen, the office isn't safe, so stay home. So it's like, most moms, they have the struggle of, especially when they're a single mom, to figure out, do I stay home with the kid or, have to go out and, there's daycares and babysitters and things like that. But it's like, sometimes it's overwhelming with them, but I appreciate it, like being able to have that type of experience to stay home with them and still be able to like work and provide and things like that. But it's just like some people, I feel like they try to like make you feel bad for it because it's just like they have to get up and go out the door, and it's just like, you know I have to wake up extra early to do this, and I'm like moving physically and you're just not doing anything. You're like a computer bound type of thing. So it's just like you ain't really doing no work. You good, you're fine. So I'm just like, okay.
And that's not being fair to you. I mean,
Right.
I'm all about balance and being able to have a, I guess, appropriate perspective about what's happening in your life and what you're experiencing, to be able to look at, okay, it's not the worst case scenario, but I also don't want you to ignore what it is. It can
Right.
still be crap. It may not be that
Right.
crappy, but it's still crap. Like,
Right. Yeah.
so I have kids. I understand. I've had half of my parenting time as a single mom, half of it, married. I get it. Having to just deal with your kids all day long is exhausting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And when they're smaller, it's worse because you have to do everything
Yeah.
for them. You got to check in on this, you got to
Yep.
check in on that. Okay, wait, let's come back to the.
Yep. Yes. When I have
So,
my days, I'm just like, did I do enough today? Did I like overdo it? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a teacher. I'm not trained for this. Like, am I messing her up? Like, oh my God. Oh my God, Jesus.
okay,
I
let
don't
me
know. It's so crazy.
breathe. It's okay. It's okay. Children are resilient for a reason. It doesn't mean you shouldn't care about them at all. But understand it this way, okay? With kids, you just have to be a good enough parent. And part of that means you show up when they need you to show up. You don't have to be there all the time, 24/7. You don't have to get things right all the time. But you do have to show a willingness to learn and to grow just like they're learning and growing.
Hmm.
So it's okay if you've messed up. Every parent out there has messed up. None of us have gotten it 100% right.
Yeah. Okay. I keep telling myself like I have to get it like 100% to the T. Everything has to be perfect.
No, there are no perfect humans. So there will be no perfect parenting, which is part of the reason why
Yeah.
kids are resilient. Because there's
Right.
always going to be a learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Get it.
The other thing that I share with parents is this: there really isn't this perfect parenting book. Okay?
Yeah. Mhm.
And even if there was this perfect parenting book, I can almost guarantee you if it worked with one kid, it won't work with the next one.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that there aren't good skills in that book, there aren't, good theories and things of that nature, but there is no one size fits all when it comes to parenting. So there's always going to be a level of guessing that you have to do.
Mhm.
So be patient with yourself, forgive yourself, because you are figuring this out just as much as they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that sounds like it should be comforting, but I'm still thinking in my head like I have to figure it out. Like I just have to.
Eventually, yes, but you don't have to figure it all out right now, this month, even this year. Because, like I said, this
Yeah.
is a constant learning, activity where, okay, you learn where your kids are at now and what works for them now. But what works for them now may not work in another 3 or 4 months.
Right.
And
Right.
then you start over again. And you start learning this new thing. And then that goes for a while until they've outgrown that. And then you learn
Yeah.
again. So
Right. Yeah, I'm noticing that with the oldest. It's just always something different with the girl, and I'm just like, oh god, I can't keep up sometimes. It's always something new. I'm just like, oh lord.
That's parenting. There's always going to be something new. So don't ever get comfortable in a place where you say, I got this. I'm good from here on out.
Yeah.
Well, that is our time for this evening.
Okay. You have definitely told me about myself,
Hopefully,
which
it's
is
received
crazy.
in a positive way. Just want to help
Yeah.
steer you in the right direction. I don't want you to ever walk away feeling judged.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to feel dismissed. I absolutely want to validate where you're at and what you're experiencing. Um, I've been doing this for so long, certain things just kind of go together. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So, I guess I'll text you in regards to
Yes.
our schedule.
Yes. Okay. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. You're very
All right
welcome.
then.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to What Would Helen Say? Be sure to come back next week as we take a deeper dive into the dynamics of Client A's friendships. If you like my podcast and you would like to support what I'm doing, or if you're interested in receiving premium access to upcoming sessions along with detailed notes about my interventions and how you can apply them to your own life, then please click on the Patreon link below for more information. Thank you.